What's going on, guys? Sunday, listening to church in my ear. I don't know if you can hear it. I hope so. And then, I'm just going to play one quick game before I head out for the day or for a while to do some things. So I'm just going to leave this on. Talking about Luke, Jesus.
Enemy soldier incoming. Check your gear and weapons.
Actually, here.
We'll be deploying shortly.
So, because I thought, man, I should say this out loud to somebody. Jesus, and a lot of people who are doing some weird things like to say, well, Jesus would, he used to sit and eat with the tax collectors, and what you're doing is wrong. If you read the passage of Luke, where it talks about Jesus sitting with the tax collectors, it also calls them sinners. And Jesus himself answered this question by saying, I did not come to, Jesus himself answered the question by saying, the sick do not need a physician.
All stations, green light.
Meaning the spiritually sick don't need, I got caught up in this. The healthy do not need a physician. It is the sick who need a physician. So Jesus was sitting with the tax collectors, and if you read the passage, it says they ask him, why are you sitting with the tax collectors and sinners? It's because Jesus' response was paramount. It's not the healthy that need a physician, but the sick. Meaning, when people say, well, Jesus would have... I saw something that said Jesus would have been a doula for my adult... a doula. Holding women's hands so they could be brave. And that's a lie. Straight up and down, Jesus followed the word, because he is the word of God, the set word of God that has always been throughout the Bible. So there's no way.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I know that Jesus said, go and sin no more, to the woman in the well. He showed them mercy to spare her life from the Pharisees, but then he turned to her, and when she was like, phew, thanks for siding with me, he's like, no, I'm just sparing you. However, take this opportunity to go and sin no more.
Loading new mag.
So, no, Jesus wasn't sitting with the tax collectors because they were cool. He was sitting with them to inspire them to follow him and to change their ways. So please don't fall victim to that mentality that, no, Jesus was cool with everybody. It's cool. Don't, what this particular sermon that I was listening to is going on about, is saying you can't be a fan of Jesus, because that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to follow Jesus. Some people, he literally said it was great. He said some people got the merch, they got the hat, they got the bumper sticker, the license plate cover, and they're, Jesus is cool. They're cool with Jesus. It's neat. They like Jesus enough, but they're not following him. And so, what is the point? Being cool with somebody is not the same as, I don't know, somebody. You really shouldn't be following any man for anything. And I am going to talk about it. This past week with Charlie Kirk, I've been a Turning Point USA fan for the past half decade or more. I've seen the videos. Wasn't really into politics too long ago. So since 2020, as the things advanced in my political watchings and of the going-ons of the world, I became quite a bit of a fan with all of them. Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder when he was with them, I believe, just everybody from Turning Point USA and other influencers, Black Conservative Perspective, all the ones that I've called out before. I've followed these people. I've watched them, but I didn't follow them, and even with the loss of Charlie Kirk, and he would understand this more than anybody. he's not, and he actually brought it up in this sermon too, so I guess I'm bringing it up. He wasn't the Messiah. You know what I mean? He was he was a brother in Christ and someone to take inspiration from, but he wasn't someone to follow. And again, no offense to Charlie, but of course Charlie would get this better than I can say it. Jesus is the one to follow. You can't just like Jesus. You have to follow Jesus, which is the living word. You have to follow the Bible and everything in it. Whether you like it, there's things in there that I sure wish I could still do that sometimes, kinda. I don't, want to be, I don't want to go against the Bible. I just missed some of the things that I found joy in my fleshly body. And I know that will send me, not to swear, but its actual place, straight to hell. So, you have to give these things up. Jesus did not sit with and hang out with and chill with tax collectors and prostitutes and drug dealers and murderers. He didn't sin with them. He sat and ate with them to influence them to change. So yeah, please don't fall into that trap, which it is a trap. It's just enabling you to continue on your sinning behavior. If you care about Jesus, if you don't, I implore you to try. I'm not one that's like, hey, you do you, I'll do me, because that's not what I was called to do either, or any of us Christians were called to do. It's not that we're trying to bug you. We're not better than you. In fact, we're just like you. We all have our things. Some people like to lie. Some people like to lust. Some people like to steal. Some people like to pretend like they're great, but and all godly in all their glory. But really, they're as long as they can trick men, they think they're tricking God, and they too will fall by the wayside.
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
So yeah, speaking about it, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I think he's probably pretty busy in heaven. For sure, he got a good job when he got there already. Which is a whole nother thing. But yeah, welcome to this live session. I hope that you are having a good Sunday. Maybe you're just getting out of church. I tend to listen to it at home for personal reasons a lot, but
Battle Royale.
That's the thing that I need to work on is people. I'm not a huge people person. So I'm trying to work on fellowshipping. The Bible says come together and come together often. And iron sharpens iron, so having accountability, I think that was also something like it, but not as much as I'm talking about because this is my own personal experience. Yeah, that's why I work from home. I'm on this video game a lot. You notice I don't join squads. I'm just not a super people person anymore. I want to.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Not exactly sure what happened, but well, I can tell you what happened a little bit. The world changed a lot. People's priorities changed a lot. And the further that people drift from really what the natural world, as you can see it, I mean, even outside of any religion, just the natural world where, people are drawing on themselves and everything goes, and as long as it's not illegal or it's not quote unquote hurting anybody, but it is, it's hurting you. It's hurting those who admire you, it's hurting your children when you get old enough and have them. And it's just hurting the general morale of the nation, at least where I live in, even though these things are happening all over the world. We're a far different world than we were 50, 60 years ago. But yeah, we're not called to sit still about it. So I need to get to church more often and start fellowshipping and seeing what I can do to maybe get out and influence someone else in a good way. You can never twist anyone's arm. God doesn't, so I wouldn't try. but God doesn't force you to follow him or read the Bible or any of that. That's why it's called free will. If you don't do something,
Be advised, there's an enemy squad gunning for you.
you know, if you love somebody, you would surely do something that you thought was beneficial for them. Like introduce them to Christ. Especially if you've seen it in your own life. You know, a lot of people are just like, I don't know, G, I've never seen any of that before. I don't know what you're talking about. I get that. You don't know. You didn't invest to try to find out. Let's just be honest. And so of course you don't know. You've never seen anything like that in your life. I mean, I've seen healings. I've seen just these moments that were only supernatural divinity could explain. And within that, it could only be the God that I pray to. There's no coincidental, yeah, it's a coincidence that I wanted this, I needed this at that time, and then it just came through and happened. How nice. Oh, I thought I had one already. Was that the last game?
Switching mags.
Gas is moving.
So yeah, I mean, here's a list of things that I'm trying to get rid of all the time. Is swearing still happens from time to time. It happens, and I'm not placating it. Like, yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. It's not.
The enemy lost track of you. Good work down there.
It shouldn't. It's something you have to work on. You won't always be perfect at it, but it's not something that you just say, you know, I just can't do it. I just cannot give it up. I believe that the Lord will be a lot more merciful towards you for effort and not perfection. You know, repenting means to turn away and to go and sin no more. Somebody's riding an ATV in here. That's not the first time I've seen it. I think the first time was a motorcycle. It might be a motorcycle, I can't tell. I think they're the same icon on the attack map. You ain't riding no more. Speaking of last week, it was kind of hard for me to play this game. I mean, if you've seen me, sniping is kind of my thing. It was really kind of hard to get back into this game, but I mean, I separate the two. I can separate the two anyway. It's just, you know, the thought of it. But I hope with everything that I said, maybe somebody out there can kind of like examine yourself, the things you think and you believe in accordance with this world. And that is really hard for youngsters because they don't know any better. They didn't live a time 20, 30 years ago where things seemed to make perfect sense. There was a time where it was too much from one side and everything actually leveled out. And now it's too much from the other side. And who knows, maybe with this, things will level out again. But some of the things some of you guys leaving out there are just not viable. Again, free will. Feel free to believe in whatever you want. That was close. Do you not have any shields or armor? Feel free to believe in whatever you want, but just know that you can be wrong and stop trying to force it on other people. Just like this, I'm talking during this game. Do you have to watch me? You don't have to. You could always find another video. I don't get a lot of views anyway, so God bless the ones who do watch. And I mean that. I hope some of these kind of times influence you to try better in your life, just like other people influence me to try better in mine. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely a work in progress. Definitely. Oh, he's gonna get me, right? Yep. That's okay. I have stuff to do. It's like too early in the game to be going to to Gulag and starting a room. In fact, maybe I was just doing a slight bit of preaching there. If you're reaching in life and you don't know what you want to do, what you want to be, try picking up a Bible. That's my advice. Start reading it. If the Old Testament seems kind of hard to understand, start with the New Testament. And once you start, I promise you, the more you read the Bible, and with an open mind and an open heart, and not just, prove it to me, you know. What does the Bible say about, why is it raining today? Prove it to me. Just read it for what it is. It's there for you to read so that you can be there for it, and not the other way around. The Bible's not like some kind of fortune cookie to tell you how to get rich. You're going to have hard times. I'm going through some things myself. That's just the way that it is. That's the way life is. But the point is, this life is not the point. This isn't it. Even Jesus himself said, the birds of the air have nests, the foxes have holes, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Jesus, though royalty, was always on the move, always going from place to place, always preaching the gospel once he began his moving ministry. And you would think, as living God on earth, he could have just said, you know what, let me get into Solomon's castle. That's pretty nice. Yeah, no, it's mine, really. And he could have just lived there and had everything he wanted and gold sandals, and he could have commanded people. But that's not really the point of why we're constructed and made in God's image. So something to think about. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. What time is it? 12:44. Yeah, I gotta start making a couple moves. Let's play some Resurgence. You didn't particularly. Have you stayed? Great. That's awesome. But if you did come to watch this, then let us play some Resurgence casual. Give you a game so that maybe you can see some things, maybe pick up a tip here or there. And if you are Christian, and just kind of quietly a Christian, like I've been for a while now. I used to preach IRL, but I've been a not people person for so long, so of course I haven't been standing up in front of people preaching. But if you are a Christian already, and you feel pretty solid in that aspect of it, as far as having your faith in God itself, something to consider is maybe getting out there and sharing that faith. I think that's the thing that has kind of caused this world to slide into the capacity that it is that even people that, sometimes you don't even know, because they've made it so legalistic to keep it to yourself. But then they're having these parades in the streets in June. You go to work and you sign this thing that says you won't speak out against this, that, or on your social media, which, thank God, all these people are getting fired because of that rule. Boy, didn't that backfire. You thought people were going to be able to say, oh, I don't think you're this or that or the other, even though you say you are because of science or whatever. Ooh, that backfired. A lot of people who thought they were just riding the high horse got fired. Thank God. If you got fired for saying something that you shouldn't have said this past week, and you knew better, just showing your evil side, good. In fact, get off my channel if you did. I don't want you watching me at all. I don't want you knowing anything about me. But yeah. Thank God. Literally. I'm talking about TV personalities, teachers, doctors. But yeah, Christians, it's time to stop being quiet about your faith, because that's how this world got here in the first place. We all had to be quiet, sit and wait, and just be non-committal puppets to the corporate media or to the corporate game, just so we could survive. And I think those days are over. So You're sitting at home going, man, I wish I could tell somebody about this. Like, you know, it's been that way throughout history, persecution. That's where the Jesus fish comes from, if you know, if you didn't know.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
And I would say people aren't getting killed for it, but apparently they are.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Did you know you can change your plates underwater? Ah. Reload and all that. It takes a little slower, but you can do it.
Reloading.
No, thank you.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh, the shallow water's the hard part. Let me get out of here. Stairs are pretty cool because you're exposing less to your body. This must be a team because nobody else is shooting anybody else. And sometimes I forget that.
Go get your revenge.
I've had some really good games that I haven't broadcast lately. You guys really missed out. Sorry about that. How about this? I'm still talking about it because I feel incomplete about it. Since you're just watching, more than likely you're just watching this by yourself. Take a minute to examine yourself. Think about who you are and what you are in this life. Where you stand on a lot of things. And
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
And I will go ahead and say that even if you're just like, well, you know, I'm cool. Jesus, alright, I guess. I'm cool. I'm just not bothering anybody. That's... Unfortunately, that mentality will never, you know, in the end, as far as Christians go, you gotta take a stance. You're either with Jesus or you're against him, basically. And that's biblical. That's not what I said, that's what he said. You're either with me or against me, so... If you believe in God, but just believe, oh, well, I'll just chill. If I don't do anything, I'm alright. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Switching mags. Enemy destroyed. Attack map to hunt down the rest of them.
Can do.
Target down.
But yeah, it's just me and you here on this here game that you're listening to. So look at yourself. You know, what do you believe? You're gonna go out and get another tattoo when you get paid, or see how I use that wall, even though most times, oh no.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Last remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
And one for Jesus. Alright.
That was close.
Even coarse jesting is actually not. Yeah, just people that like to talk smack, coarse jesting is in the Bible. It's in Ephesians. Harsh joking, you know, be careful. It's in there for a reason. Therefore, what is it there for, right? It's in there. And how many of my sports fans, sports players, have been playing a game of something and talk smack long enough, and now you're in a fight.
UAV available for tasking.
And now you try to backpedal, but it's sport. We're just being sportsmanship.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Or you're watching an NBA game. What's up, these two dudes? They're fighting, bro. You can make millions of dollars because it's in there for a reason. Even when millions of dollars are on the line, it's real. It's even jacket for the season, maybe, depending on how far it goes.
Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Where'd you go? Finish you too.
Hostile impact.
Nope.
Enemy with fence.
Under fire.
Target down. Marking the rest of them.
Loading new mag.
Gas is closing in. Enemy dropping into the AO.
That gas is a lifesaver. Watch it. It's gonna come around that corner and get stuck. You hear it? Click, click, click. That's him. Catching that gas.
I'll drive.
What? Just giving people, what am I, Uber? You want to come over here with me? How about we run these people over?
Get down, frag.
Enemy destroyed.
10 enemies
Use your
removed.
tac map to hunt down the rest of them.
I think so.
Kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Ah. That helped. I was doing so good. I know it's not over, but now I gotta collect that stuff again.
Back in the
Back
AO.
on station. Go
Sorry,
get
I was
after
looking
it.
for my loadout. Anyway. Here's a tip, if you wanna descend faster, paratrooping down faster, you just have to be able to control it properly. You can always,
Fire fan is active. Five station fighters are
no thank you, it's too late, out of there.
25 was still standing. We lost that one, but we'll get a W next time.
You can spin, for your velocity. You can also rock back and forth.
I'm hit.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the game today, for whatever it was worth. The talking really throws off my game, so you're not seeing anything like the games that I've been playing recently. They're just phenomenal. In fact, the first one today I won off the bat. Of course, the stadium has changed since I last broadcast about it, but it still has a fair amount of goodies. So I stopped off in the stadium, jumped in a helicopter, went to the midpoint of the map from where I was, from the gas time, jumped in a tower, or on one of the radio stations. I jumped out of the helicopter, literally let it crash. Somebody was shooting at me. But that's not why I jumped out, because I wanted to land without having to climb 2 flights of ladders. When I got up there, I had everything that I needed. I sniped a lot of people. And then in the end, there was like 2 people left on opposite sides of the map. One guy was going behind a mountain, so to flush him out while he was running in that direction, ahead of him, I laid down, what is it? The bombs. The UAV bombs. And, they came raining down. Of course, he came back out from the other side of the mountain where I could see him, and I sniped him. And then, to my right, I found the other guy that was hiding. He had sniped quite a couple of people, and it was just me and him. He didn't even see me. I hit him the first time, started looking around. And I don't have a sniper rifle. I actually have a marksman rifle, if you hadn't noticed that. So it's a faster firing sniper style rifle for marksmanship. It is a sniper rifle source, but it's a little bit more powerful. It's a little faster on the firing, so by the time someone goes, "Oh, I'm hit," I've already put off the second shot. And we'll get into that. I was listening to church, and I was really feeling it, so I'm not sorry, but I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, who's to say you're still here? I do have some videos with 0 watches, so that could be you. At any rate, if you are still here, God bless you. Have a great day. Have a great week. Don't forget what I said. Examine yourself and examine your friends. Slightly influence them if you feel that way. To maybe invite one to church. And also consider who you hang out with. Some people just aren't ready, and some people just aren't for you in this season. You know, you don't have to keep pecking at somebody. Some people just aren't there. And sometimes you have to keep a distance, pray for them, try when you can, and you don't have to give up on them, but sometimes you just have to keep a distance. Anyway, God bless you guys. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll probably come back later and make some more. Take care. Can't stop broadcasting if I don't have the controller. I even put it on the charging dock already. I could have just turned the TV off, but would that have worked? And probably. 31 minutes.